In this video, I'm going to show you how to run a forecast using time series. Time series are particularly well suited when there's no clear trend in the data. We're going to examine 5 different methods here. The first method is the naive method, right here. The second method is the moving average using 3-period moving average method. The third one is a weighted moving average with weight of 0.1, 0.3, and 0.6. The fourth one is an exponential smoothing with a weight of 0.3. And the last one is an exponential smoothing with a weight of 0.5. So let's start with the naive, which is the simplest of the 5 methods. Naive simply said that the demand from last time period is going to be the forecast for next time period. So all I have to do is to take these time periods as being the actual demand from the previous time period, and that's it. That's my forecast, and I can drag this result down all the way to the end of my model here. The 3-period moving average requires that you have at least 3 previous periods so that you can start making the first forecast. So in this case, the first forecast you'll be able to run is going to be on period number 4. So period number 4 will be the average of the actual demand of the last 3 periods. Then I drag this down to the bottom. Next one is a special case of the moving average. It's very similar except that each previous time period's data will be weighted for those weights, meaning that the most recent period will be weighted on at 60%, the second most recent at 30%, and the oldest one at 10%. So here's how I do it here. It's going to be equal to the most recent actual demand multiplied by 0.6. Then I'm going to add the second most recent multiplied by 0.3, and I add the oldest data multiplied by 0.1 here. Now, because I'm going to drag down my cell later on, I have to fix all the cells that relate to those weights. So that's the cells E16 through 18. So this one will be fixed. I press F4, it adds the little dollar marks there. And I do that for all 3. Now I have my equation, and I enter, and I can drag it down. Next time series is probably the trickiest one, simply because the formula is not as straightforward. In order to begin doing exponential smoothing, you need at least one forecast from a previous time period. So the way we're going to do it is to assume that our period 1's forecast was a perfect forecast. So we forecasted 42. And the actual demand happened to be 42 as well, and we'll do that for both here. Now, the exponential smoothing method says that the forecast at time t plus 1 is equal to forecast at time t plus alpha, and I'm going to press F4 here because I want to fix that cell, and multiply by the difference between the actual demand at time t minus the forecast at time t. This is my formula right there. Now I enter, and I can drag it down. And I do the same thing for exponential smoothing with a weight of 0.5 equal to previous forecast plus alpha multiplied by actual data at time t minus forecast at time t. Drag it down. So I just completed all my models. Next step would be to evaluate which of the 5 techniques is the most accurate.